Welcome to this PD session, CLLC's PD session. My name is Ivan or Ivan. You decide. I'm the recruitment director for CLLC, and today it's my pleasure to share with you a little bit about nonviolent communication, which is something I've been studying for the last few years, and it has changed the way I've been communicating with people, and especially when we're talking about, such a multicultural environment, such as a language school. I think this is a very, very important skill to have. So I'm going to discuss briefly with you today. I don't think this will be the end of the topic. We will certainly have to have other sessions like this one. Today, I'm going to focus in one of the pillars of NVC, nonviolent communication. I'll be uh, calling it now from now on NVC. So we will be covering one important aspect, and there are basically four elements as I will be showing you today. So the idea of this session is to help you to discover a powerful approach to communication for a happier, more effective life, and of course, more effective classrooms as well. Let me go to the next slide. So we're going to briefly talk about the foundations of NVC, why it's important for teachers as well. I think NVC is important for everybody in all walks of life, all environments, but also very important for teachers. We're going to focus on observations, although, as I mentioned, there are four basic elements: observations, feelings, needs, and requests. And also, I'm going to show you some actionable techniques that can be used for a classroom or, of course, for your life. So, the basic idea of NVC is to connect. So when we're talking about nonviolent communication, we're talking about connection, how to connect compassionately and honestly with people. The focus of NVC is needs, and we will see this not today. I won't be focusing on needs today. As I mentioned, we'll be focusing on observation, but needs is the basic needs, the basic human needs that you've heard of, is the key for NVC. It was developed by Marshall Rosenberg in the 1960s. I wouldn't say it was discovered or invented or anything like that because the principles were there. So I think Rosenberg's merit was in putting all this together and making it as a methodology. And there is a global application to NVC in education, mediation, workplaces, families, even in war to mediate agreements and things like that. So NVC is very important to all that. Why is it important for teachers? So it reduces conflicts, minimizing defensiveness in classroom interactions, build trust by strengthening relationships, clear expression, express yourself as a teacher clearly and also respectfully uh, with others or to others, and a positive environment to the classroom. It fosters a more supportive, classroom environment. The four elements of NVC, as I mentioned: observation, feelings, feeling, need, and request. This is these are the four pillars or the basic elements. Today we'll be focusing on observations. What did I see? What did I hear? And stick to the facts. A basic example, but don't take this so seriously, because this is very mechanical. As we practice NVC, we stop being so mechanical, and we kind of incorporate this in a more fluid way of communicating. But basically, this is an example of how the four elements are used. So the observation would be something like, I noticed you started talking while I was explaining. The feeling, I feel frustrated. The need, because I need respect during lessons. And of course, a request, would you wait until I'm finished? So this is the four elements. Of course, this is a non-realistic conversation, but as I mentioned, as we learn NVC, we make it very, very fluid, and we use different ways. When we start learning it's a kind of a little bit of a robot speaking, but then we become fluent. NVC, by the way, it's just like learning a new language. It's at the beginning, it's uh we make mistakes, we don't understand how it works, we need to follow, we need to drill sometimes, but then we become fluent and it just flows. So we are going to talk about observation today. So the important thing about observations is to be able to notice without judging. Some people have said that the highest form of intelligence is to be able to observe without judgment. What does it mean? It means that we are going to act like a camera, this is a very appropriate symbol here. We are going to show what is happening, and our interpretation, our judgment is not welcome at this time. Why is this important? Because it prevents people from being defensive. It keeps communication clear. It's a camera perspective. So what would a video recorder capture? That's the idea. And I'll try to make it clear for you now. So imagine this. We have here a contrast to make it easier to understand. Observation is the fact, and the evaluation is your opinion. So, for example, you left your seat while I was speaking. So this is an observation. I was speaking, you left the seat, and you wanted to bring it up. So this is what you're acting like a camera, just saying what happened. How can you be subjective here? How can you judge? You can say, for example, you're disrespectful. But this is the fact, and this is your opinion. Okay? So the difference is that the observation describe, the evaluation judge. I can give you endless examples. I'll give you another one, just to complement on this one. So like you can say a student maybe did not hand in the homework, and he hasn't done it for 2 weeks, let's say. So what is an observation? An observation is you haven't handed in your homework in the last 2 weeks. So this is an observation. What is a judgment, an evaluation, is you are lazy or you never hand in your homework, things like that. So I think it's clear. And what we can do to start working on our NVC skills is to observe more and judge less. I'm not saying that judging will never happen. This is another conversation that can drag this for, for 2 or 3 hours. I don't want to go there. I just want you to be aware of this difference when you're observing and when you're judging. And that's the key takeaway of this conversation today. As I mentioned, um, if you say, for example, you're lazy instead of you haven't handed in your homework this week, what the possible result here would be that maybe your student just shuts down. Maybe you're labeling the student, you're sentencing the student to being something that maybe that's not the case. So we're not gonna do that. We're not gonna go there. Um, if you say you often interrupt, students may feel attacked. Instead, we can look for the thing that actually happened. For example, you interrupted me 3 times before I could finish my explanation. Would you mind waiting until I'm finished and then I'll take questions? This is a way. So when we give what actually happened, this is what I mean by, observing. Or, for example, and also another reason why we should avoid evaluation is because observations opens doors. Because facts lead to honest conversation. I'm sorry that this slide kind of cut this last picture here. Oh, no. Okay, now you can see it. Some other classroom examples. So the event was an interruption. The observation is you spoke while I was speaking. The evaluation would be you were inconsiderate. So I think by now you can understand the difference between what an observation is and what an evaluation is. Late work. Your homework was submitted late. This is the observation. This is the fact. We could uh, say, or we couldn't say, I hope we don't say it, but if we say you are not responsible, we are not observing, we are labeling, evaluating the student. Another event, the students are laughing for whatever reason. You were laughing during my instructions. This is the observation. Now, this is the evaluation. You are not focused. So I think you can understand by now the difference between the two these two things. So here I bring four sentences. Can you tell me if this is an observation or an evaluation? For example, you handed in your work 2 days late. What would you say? Observation or evaluation? If you answered observation, that's it. That's correct. Because you're giving exactly what happened, you're giving the right information, and that's perfect. You don't care about your studies. Observation or evaluation? Well, obviously, this is an evaluation. You were looking at your phone during the review. Observation or evaluation? Well, this is an observation because you saw the student doing that. So um, hopefully this is not happening in your classes anyway, but this is an observation. And you're always disrespectful. Observation or evaluation? Obviously, this is a evaluation and here you have, in a very short sentence, you have two words giving this away. Always is one of those words that will normally be attached to evaluation. When you say you always do this, or you never do that, or you often act like this. So these are words that will very much, possibly all the time or very often, although I'm using often and never and always here, it will be commonly linked to evaluations. And of course, we have the word disrespectful that is a very big label. I mean, there's nothing but an evaluation here. So how can you practice observations? Well, when something happens, and sometimes we evaluate or label because we get angry or because we understand people are not behaving the way they should, uh, we try to react quickly, and then that's where the problem happens. So the big the good idea here would be to pause and reflect and ask yourself, what exactly did I see or hear? So try to step away from the from any very quick judgment and try to think of, the fact. What are you actually looking at, the observation? You can also you can go one step further and remove assumptions, strip away labels and judgment. You can also report like journalist. I mean, as I mentioned, what exactly happened? So frame statements as objective facts. And of course, finally involve students or whoever you're talking to. Ask them to share what happened. If you're in doubt, you can ask them. So, exactly happened here? Uh, can you give me can you tell me what's going on or what happened here? And listen. Maybe listening will give you more clarity. Um, yeah, so how can you create your own observation statements? This is something that we're going to take care when we see the other elements. But the key thing is to ask yourself when you're looking at something or when you're evaluating or considering a situation, you can ask yourself, could a camera record it? If you say, for example, um, you um, if you say are um, you are or let's use the homework example. You did not hand in your homework yesterday. Could you record it? Yes, you could. This is an action that could be recorded. Now, if you say you're lazy, can you record it? No, you can't record it. It's a judgment. It's not possible to record uh, this kind of situations. Or if you say, or we think about the disrespectful example, you cannot you cannot record someone who is disrespectful, but you can record someone shouting at another person. You can record someone, saying bad names to another person. That's one thing. Now, disrespectful is a label, is a judgment. It's something different from the reality. So you cannot record it. Uh, if you can write the facts, also if you can focus on the fact, you are actually sticking to the observation. So focus on the specific behavior. If you need to talk to someone about it or talk to a student about it, focus on the specific behavior. So see, can you record it in a camera? Can I focus on a specific behavior? And can I replace evaluations or possible evaluations with observations? So we are doing here, we are transforming judgment into observations. Why this is important? In summary, because it shows trust. We are building mutual understanding. We create peace, reduces classroom conflict. We empower teacher and students, and we create the basis for effective communication. So as I mentioned, this is only today's focus, observations. Next time, we'll be talking about feelings. We'll be talking about needs in the future and also requests. So hopefully you found this useful for your classes, for your life. Uh, Next time you have the opportunity, actually, I have a little um, a little homework for you. I forgot to put here in the slides. But if you can, in your practice, find examples, something that disturbed you a little bit or that bothered you. If you can think of one or two examples of something that really bothered you, maybe you can try to write to me on my email if you like, saying what is the observation that you have there, as opposed to what kind of judgment there might be. So you can feel the difference of the observation and the judgment. So if you can write to my email, I'll leave it here, by the way, which is Ivan or Ivan at CLLC.ca. And if you need more tips, or if you want guidance, or if you want to read something more about NVC, please let me know. I love studying NVC, as I mentioned. Also, there is a great online resource, cnvc.org. And I recommend the basic book called Nonviolent Communication by Marshall Rosenberg, which is available in all platforms. You can buy even in electronic format. So that's it from me. I hope you liked it, and I hope the difference between observations and uh, and and evaluations are clear to you. If you have questions, please reach out to me. Thank you very much for the opportunity, and I'll see you again very soon. Take care.